In times when nobody knew him, Sylvester Stallone had to make the ultimate sacrifice. He had no other choice but to abandon his beloved friend, because otherwise one of them wouldn't survive. This is the story of Sly and Butkus.
He's my friend, he's my buddy. I loved him, you know. I spent more time with that dog than than any friend I ever had.
Before Stallone became rich and famous as Rocky Balboa, life dealt him one blow after the other. In his 20s, he was dirt poor and couldn't find work. But he had one saving grace. It was his dog, Butkus. Stallone adopted him when he was just a little puppy of 6 weeks old. And then these two became inseparable.
This is more than a dog. This was my world.
At that time, Sly cleaned lion cages at the zoo for a living and wrote scripts on his knees in a tiny room. He desperately wanted to get into the movies, but nobody took him in. He just couldn't make ends meet. And this meant he could no longer feed Butkus.
And you had nothing?
I had to sell my dog. I couldn't afford dog food.
You really sold your dog?
Absolutely. $50 at a 7-Eleven.
It broke Sly's heart, and he regretted it instantly. Stallone promised himself to get his friend back one day. That very promise became the fuel for his breakthrough. Just 2 weeks later, he did the one thing that changed his life forever. It was all set in motion after he saw Muhammad Ali fight one night.
He lasted and knocked the champion down. I said, boy, if this isn't a metaphor for life.
This match inspired Stallone to write Rocky's script. He finished the whole thing in 3 days, and something told him this was it. The directors loved the script, and the bids for it grew. But at that point, Stallone felt he couldn't just sell it away. He had to play the main part in his own film.
I know in the back of my mind, if I sell the script and it does very, very well, I'm going to jump off a building.
The thing was, no one really wanted him to play Rocky because he looked and sounded funny. Like Balboa, Stallone refused to stay down and kept on fighting. He got his deal when he agreed on a mere $35,000 acting salary. But that's how Sly's star was born. Finally, with money in his pocket, Sly went back to find Butkus.
I go back to the fellow I sold it to, who now won't give it back. He goes, I'll give you the dog back for $3,000. I said, I don't have $3,000. He goes, all right, I want to be in the movie. So I put him in the movie.
Don't you think you ought to take a rest?
No, my back is hurt.
Your back?
My back is hurt. You deaf?
I'm short.
Besides that, the guy also got the money for the dog. At last, the best buds reunited in real life and rocked it together on screen. Butkus starred in the first 2 Rocky movies as himself.
Butkus! Hey, Butkus! Come here, kid! Come here!
To keep you company when you run.
Together, they went on many more runs until Butkus said his final goodbye.
This is more than a dog. This was my world.
Stallone's story reminds us that life is like a boxing match. You will get smashed in the face. It's part of the game. But it's what you do when you're down that matters. So stand up to life. Take the shot. Go the distance. And when you get to the top, remember those who were by your side on your way up.